first announcement that Madam Speaker made was to inform the House that she had received communication to the effect that in the absence of Her Honor, the Vice President, who was attending to other government business, the Minister of Defence, Honorable Ambrose Lufuma MP, had been appointed acting leader of government business in the House from yesterday, 3rd December 2024, till further notice.
In the other announcement, Madam Speaker recognized the presence in the public gallery of the Urban Future Project under the Consumer Unit and Trust Society International in Chongo District. Madam Speaker, on behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, warmly welcomed the visitors to the National Assembly.
The last and third announcement that was made by Madam Speaker was to remind the House that on Thursday, 1st August 2024, the Honourable Minister of Mines and Minerals Development deferred the consideration of committee stage of the Minerals Regulation Commission Bill, National Assembly Bill number 1 of 2024, to a later date to allow for further consultations. And Madam Speaker informed the House that during the period of deferment, some honourable members had expressed interest to move more amendments to the bill. In that regard, and in order to accommodate all honourable members wishing to move amendments, she guided the House the following article.
This is a resumption of the consideration of the committee stage of the Minerals Regulation Commission Bill, which was scheduled for Thursday, 5th December 2024, and also consideration of a committee stage of the bill would start afresh. This entailed that any amendments that were earlier circulated would have to be resubmitted together with any other amendments.
And she further said that any honourable member who wished to move amendments could submit their proposed amendment to the Legal Services Department, and all proposed amendments shall be submitted to the Legal Services Department by 10 hours today, Wednesday, 4th December 2024. In that regard, Madam Speaker urged honourable members who wish to submit proposed amendments to adhere to the stipulated timeline.
And in the other announcement, Madam Speaker informed the House that the National Assembly of Zambia would host the 56th Plenary Assembly Session of the Southern African Development Community Parliamentary Forum SADC PF from 8th to 15th December 2024 in Livingstone.
And Madam Speaker further stated that as host speaker and further runs of her commitment to creating a platform for engaging stakeholders to discuss challenges and solutions faced by female parliamentarians and women and girls in general. She would hold on the margins of the 56th Plenary Assembly a special networking dinner in Dava on 12th December 2024 for all female speakers and parliamentarians that would be in attendance.
In that regard, Madam Speaker informed the House that the aim of the Indaba was to discuss and find common platforms for reducing the challenges faced by women and girls, as well as the opportunities for the retention of female parliamentarians.
After those announcements that were made by the Right Honourable Madam Speaker, the House did proceed to consider 3 urgent matters, and these matters without notice, and the following matters were considered. The first one came from Mr. Anton Mumba, Kantanshi Member of Parliament, and this one was on the hike in fuel prices by the Energy Regulation Board on 30th November 2024, and this matter was inadmissible.
The second one came from Chitambo, Member of Parliament, Mr. Remember Mutale. This was on ZESCO's alleged decision to withdraw gensets installed in some markets due to the high cost of fuel. This matter was equally inadmissible.
Ron Member of Parliament, Mr. George Chibuye, did raise urgent matter without notice, and this one was on when farmers who applied for agriculture loans in Mukushi North Parliamentary constituency would receive their monies, and this one was inadmissible. And this is Mukushi North Member of Parliament, Mr. C. Chibuye.
After those 3 matters without notice, the Minister of Finance and National Planning presented the supplementary estimates number 2 of 2024 and the estimate stood referred to the Planning and Budgeting Committee for consideration until Friday, 6 December 2024.
The Minister of Mines and Minerals Development, this is Honorable Kabuswe, did present a bill, and this is a Geological and Minerals Development Bill, National Assembly Bill number 33 of 2024. And the object of the bill seeks to provide the geological survey, mapping and exploration in the Republic, provide for the establishment of the artisanal and small-scale mining fund, and provide for matters connected with the incidental to the foregoing. And it read the first time, and it was referred to the Committee on National Economy, Trade and Labour Matters for examination due course.
After that, the House considered questions for oral answer number 143 under Standing Order 82, and also questions for oral answer numbers 144 to 147 under Standing Order 80.
There was another bill that came up at second reading stage, and this one was moved by the Minister of Green Economy and Environment, and it is the Green Economy and Climate Change Bill, National Assembly Bill number 18 of 2024, and it read the second time and referred in the committee stage to be considered today, the fourth day in the month of December 2024.
Another bill that was considered yesterday is the Plant Health Bill, National Assembly Bill number 20 of 2024. It was read a second time and committed to the Committee of the Whole House, and so committee stage will be taken in due course.
We had another bill that was considered, the Zambia National Public Health Institute Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 15 of 2023. It was considered in committee stage, and report stage will be considered today.
The other bill is the Judiciary Administration Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 16 of 2024, considered in committee. The bill was reported without amendments to be read the third time today.
The Zambia Institute of Quantity Surveyors Bill, National Assembly Bill number 19 of 2024, was considered in committee stage, and third reading will be considered today.
And so the House adjourned accordingly yesterday at 18:21 hours, and so this is business that was considered on the floor of the House yesterday, Tuesday, 3rd December 2024. Just now, we shift our attention and we look at today's order paper.
We expect a question for oral answer, and before that we expect the House to consider announcements, if there will be any urgent matters without notice, if there will be any, and we do have two ministerial statements that are earmarked to be considered today on the floor of the House. Let's look quickly at the details of those two ministerial statements, Matima.
The first one is expected to be presented by the Minister of Water Development and Sanitation. This was on the status of the water supply and sanitation interventions in response to the drought mitigation and the cholera elimination funds. The other one is expected to be presented by the Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry. This is on the status and progress of Zambia's industrial development agenda.
We do have 5 questions for oral answer under Standing Order 80. These are ordinary questions, but before we give you the details of those questions, because any time from now we'll be able to see Madam Speaker making her way to the chamber, that will signify the commencement of today's business. We do have a report, and this will be moved by Mwandi, Member of Parliament, and this is Ms. Sibeso Sefulo, and this report is urging the House to adopt the report of the Committee on National Economy, Trade and Labour Matters on the ratification of the Southern African Development Community Protocol on Statistics for the 4th session of the 13th National Assembly, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 7th November. Matimba, like we mentioned, the Honourable Madam Speaker's procession making way to the chamber, that signifies the commencement of today's business. Keep watching.
Honourable Members of Parliament, Madam Speaker. Yeah.
want freedom fight on, strong and free. Africa is our own motherland, fashioned with endless by those who learn. Let us all our people join as one, brothers under the sun. Oh, one, strong and free. One land and one nation is our cry. Dignity and peace is Zambia's sky. Like a noble eagle in its flight, Zambia, praise to thee, oh one, strong and free. Praise be to God, praise be, bless our great Zambia, Zambia, Zambia. Remain we stand under the flag of our land, Zambia, praise to thee, oh one, strong and free.
Prayer. Almighty God, who in your infinite wisdom and providential goodness has appointed the offices of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to consider with your abundant favor us, your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of such important responsibilities in this land. Let your blessing descend upon us here in Parliament assembled, and grant that we may, as in your presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation, in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country, and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. Amen. Order, honorable members, I have 3 announcements. The first one is that, honorable members, I have received communication to the effect that in the absence of Her Honor the Vice President, who is attending to other government business, the Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Ruben Arapiri Mutoro, has been appointed acting leader of government business in the House from today, Wednesday, 4th December 2024, until further notice. I thank you. The second announcement, honorable members, I wish to recognize the presence in the Speaker's Gallery of the following officials from the National Biosafety Authority. Mr. Webster D. Shavusale, Acting Board Chairperson. Dr. Chapwa Kasoma, Vice Chairperson, Scientific Advisory Committee. Mrs. Lillian K. Nkamu, Acting CEO, Registrar. Mr. Christopher Simuntala, Senior Biosafety Officer. And Ms. Sandra Lombe, Communications Officer. The officials came for a sensitization meeting with the presiding officers and other stakeholders on biosafety in Zambia. I wish on behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia to receive our guests and warmly welcome them in our midst. I thank you. You may take your seats. The next announcement, honorable members, I wish to recognize the presence in the public gallery of pupils and teachers from Arakan Girls Secondary School in Lusaka District. On behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, I warmly welcome our visitors in our midst. I thank you. You may take your seats. Urgent matters without notice. Honorable Member for Mwandi.
Thank you so very much, Madam Speaker, for according me an opportunity to raise on this urgent matter without notice. The matter was going to be raised to the Minister of Infrastructure, but in his absence, I'll take it to the leader of government business in the House, who is the Honorable Minister of Agriculture. Madam Speaker, I stood on the floor of the House last Friday to check on the progress that is happening in regards to the Nakatindi Road, Kazungula Sesheke Road. And as being a listening child, the Vice President advised me to say this is a matter that I should keep reminding the Minister of Infrastructure every single day. I missed an opportunity to do so yesterday, so I wanted to take this platform to remind the Minister of Infrastructure that as the rains come, that road is becoming very, very dangerous and passable, therefore putting our people in danger. So I didn't know any other platform that exists in Parliament for reminders, so I want to take this opportunity just to send that reminder that that road is urgent and very, very important. I submit, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Mwandi. I suggest you put in a question which can be submitted and tackled by the Honorable Minister of Infrastructure, or in his absence, the acting minister will be acting as the Minister of Infrastructure. The next one, Honorable Member for Kalulushi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for allowing me to stand on an urgent matter without notice. Madam Speaker, I came to the floor of this House and you had guided over the matter that I had raised to the Vice President and the Minister of Local Government. You said we should be able to rehearse. But Madam Speaker, I've come back again because nothing has been done. This is in regards to the people that were evicted from Chembe Bed Sanctuary. Madam Speaker, these people were left in the middle of nowhere, and a farmer allowed them to camp there. Now this farmer, Madam Speaker, wants the land back because government has given him fertilizer, and this is the planting season. Madam Speaker, as if that is not enough, through the government offices, we queried through the office of the mayor and the town clerk, there is no land. Madam Speaker, what is disheartening and very sad is that our colleagues in this government are not showing a human face. Just yesterday, a 14-year-old girl coming from that same sanctuary was killed, shredded in pieces, Madam Speaker, because where they're getting water is far. Are we surely going to allow more deaths? I came on the floor of this House hoping that my colleagues on this side will do something, because these are your voters. Above everything else, they are human beings. They are Zambians. How do we go home and sleep and allow rain to pour on them and act like nothing is happening? Madam Speaker, can you intervene? Being a mother, can you sanction these people on this side to do something in regards to the people of Chembe Bed Sanctuary? Madam Speaker, there was a riot yesterday. There was a riot. You lose lives like I warned. How would you allow, how would you feel your 14-year-old daughter, because she has to fetch water from far and get shredded in two pieces? Madam Speaker, please intervene, because it is only through you that they will listen.
Thank you, Honorable Member, for that issue. And you say that you have tried to to interact with the Honorable Minister, but you have not gotten any feedback. The other option is just to put in a question. You can put in a question, then the Honorable Minister can come and address that issue. It's sad that a life was lost, but we don't know how this life was lost. But condolences to the family. I'm sure nobody wants anyone to die in whatever circumstances. I'm now trying to address your matter. Please put in a question. The question is better. Because when you try to approach the government, the executive, and they are not responding through interactions, there are other options. You can put in a question, you can move a motion. There are so many options that are open to all of us. So we should not feel frustrated if we visit one minister is not responsive. We can still follow up, put in a question. So thank you very much, Honorable Member for Kalurushi. Honorable Member for Chinsali.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise on an urgent matter without notice on the Minister of Mines, though he's not around. I'm sure he's following the proceedings. Madam Speaker, what has happened in Chinsali is that yesterday our senior chief received people who went there saying that they have mineral exploration. They have a mineral exploration license which they got from the Minister of Mines. Now that license, it covers Chief Unkula's village, which is in Nkula village, where our senior chief lives. Now, the people who have heard the story have started panicking that now the Minister of Mines have given away our land. So, Madam Speaker, I request that you help in intervening in this matter so that maybe the minister can clarify this matter. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. Would you do you have a copy of that mining license?
No, Madam Speaker. I received a call from the senior chief himself because he was trying to call the minister and the minister was not answering. That is Senior Chief Unkula of Chinsali, from Chinsali rather.
It would have been helpful if the copy of the mining license was obtained so that it supports what you are saying. So since you don't have a copy of the mining license, maybe what you can do is put in a question. The Honorable Minister will be able to answer that question when you submit it. Thank you. That concludes that matter of urgent matters without notice. I have permitted the Honorable Minister of Water Development and Sanitation to present a ministerial statement. The Honorable Minister of Water Development and Sanitation.
Madam Speaker, I'm grateful for according me an opportunity to present an update to this August House and through it, the nation at large, on efforts government is making to mitigate the negative effects of the unprecedented drought Zambia has experienced, which was declared a national disaster and emergency by His Excellency President Hakainde Hichilema. As this House is aware, the drought has adversely affected water supply as evidenced by the reduction in water production due to the drying up of water sources and the receding groundwater levels. The drought has also negatively impacted energy security, which has itself worsened water stress in the country because of the prolonged load management resulting in reduced water supply hours and loss of revenue. Allow me, Madam Speaker, to provide an update on the interventions government is making to ensure that we navigate these challenging times as we strive to meet our aspirations of universal access to clean and safe drinking water and adequate sanitation for all. My statement, Madam Speaker, will therefore focus on 1, implementation of the drought response plan, 2, the status of ongoing water infrastructure projects, 3, government support to commercial utilities to mitigate water stress, and finally, CDF-supported water projects in various constituencies. Number 1, Madam Speaker, government has completed major rehabilitation works on 3 dams, namely Chitindi Northern Province, Kabombwa in Western Province, and Amose in Eastern Province. These will be commissioned by the end of December 2024. Additionally, 5 dams, namely Kawama in Eastern Province, and Chundwe, Jongolo, Siakalinda, and Siambelele in Southern Province will be completed and commissioned by the end of December 2024. Contractors have been engaged to drill a total of 160 commercial boreholes in drought-prone areas of Lusaka, Central, Southern, Eastern, and Western provinces at a total cost of 75 million kwacha. 100 of these boreholes will be utilized by the commercial utilities for domestic water supply, while 45 boreholes will be for livestock and 15 for wildlife. The contractors have since started drilling these boreholes, and works will be completed by June 2025. The ministry has also awarded 6 contracts at a total cost of 36 million kwacha for the construction of sanitation facilities in selected public institutions in cholera-prone areas across the country. Maintenance of dams across the country has progressed very well too, using the Cash for Work program. Further, enforcement of the relevant laws and regulations to ensure utilization of the water resources are being enforced now more strictly. Interventions, Madam Speaker, to ensure sustainable water resource management have also continued, with WAMA embarking on mapping of water resources across the country. So far, mapping of the Upper Kabompo sub-catchment, Shaft 5, and Upper Lutembwe catchment has been completed. Further, 127 water supply sources for utility companies have been delineated for declaration as water resource protection areas, whilst 310 water permits have been issued. Madam Speaker, the status on the ongoing infrastructure projects, as I've indicated on the floor of this House, in my previous statements, the ministry has been undertaking key infrastructure projects in selected utilities. I'm happy to report that significant progress has been made on these water infrastructure projects. For example, the Kafulafuta water supply project under the Kafubu Water and Sanitation Company, which will benefit over 1 million of our people in Ndola, Luansha, Masaiti, and Pongwe, has been completed and is scheduled for commissioning by His Excellency Dr. Hakainde Hichilema, the President of the Republic of Zambia, this month end. The Integrated Small Towns Water Supply and Sanitation Project under Wapula and Chambeshi Water and Sanitation Companies have been completed and will be commissioned this December. This project is benefiting over 900 people in Mpika, Kasama, Mbala, Nakonde in northern Mchinga provinces, and Mansa, Samfya, Mwense, and Kawambwa in Wapula province. Madam Speaker, what has been government support to commercial utilities to mitigate water stress? The ministry has been taking proactive measures to ensure that our people continue to receive water supply and sanitation services. Therefore, a total of 55 million kwacha, that is about 5 million kwacha to each of the 11 commercial utilities, has been disbursed to implement additional drought and cholera elimination interventions. Allow me to provide details, Madam Speaker, of some of the works that have been undertaken by the utilities thus far. Madam Speaker, the ministry is procuring 55 standby pumps for all the utilities to reduce water production and distribution downtime in case of machine breakdowns or during times when maintenance works are being carried out. Kafubu Water and Sanitation Company Limited has procured 2 submersive pumps. It has constructed an overhead power supply line and procured an aluminium line in order to boost water production at Makoma Water Treatment Plant from 14,000 meter cube per day to about 35 meter cube a day. This will improve water supply to Ron, Patamatu, and town center areas of Luansha, and will benefit a total of 120,000 people. Further, the utility is drilling 2 commercial boreholes in Ndeke Township of Ndola and 2 boreholes in Kamiranda and Ndeke Townships of Luansha to benefit over 2,000 households. Madam Speaker, Kana Water and Supply and Sanitation Company has embarked on drilling and equipping of 2 commercial boreholes in Ndeke H and Ndeke Changachanga townships in Kitwe, and 2 commercial boreholes in Koloko ward in Kalulushi. Chambesh Water Supply and Sanitation is dredging the old Nakonde Dam to improve the holding capacity of the dam in Nakonde. Northwestern Water and Supply Company has procured 500 water meters and assorted repair materials to attend to leakages in all the districts. Mulonga Water and Supply and Sanitation Company is laying a 4.2 kilometer sewer pipeline in Kankoyo Township in a case to improve sanitation services. Western Water Supply and Sanitation Company is rehabilitating the collapsed Barozi Mall sewer network, which will be completed by 15th December 2024. Further, the company has procured and installed pumps for Lukulu. Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company is equipping 2 boreholes to improve water supply in Ndeke Township of Lusaka. The utility has also procured gensets to stabilize supply in Chainda and Kabanana townships. Works to install solar systems at the boreholes at the booster station are also underway in Chongwe, which has experienced reduced production due to prolonged load management. Further, several domestic boreholes are being drilled and equipped in cholera-prone areas. Madam Speaker, Lukanga Water Supply and Sanitation Company has installed new pumps in Kapirimposhi, Serenje and Kabwe to improve water supply. The utility is also installing 2,000 meters and repairing leaks in all the districts. In Wapula Water Supply and Sanitation Company has embarked on the rehabilitation of the old rising main in Zambia district and the rehabilitation of the spring, the raw water pipeline and the 250 cubic meters water tank in Kawambwa district. The utility is also drilling 10 solar-powered boreholes to benefit Ntulo, PWD, Kote, Lusamba, and Mutofwe villages. Other areas to benefit from the boreholes are Kawambwa Secondary School, Stedi Matelo, Medium, Chisete, and John Mapipo townships of Kawambwa. Once completed, these interventions will result in improved water supply in Kawambwa district from an average of 3 hours of supply to over 20 hours of supply. In Eastern Province, Eastern Water and Sanitation Company has procured 2,500 meters which will be installed in all districts. In an effort to reduce non-revenue water, the utility has also procured leak repair materials and works to seal leakages. The utility has also embarked on procurement of materials for the sewer line and manual rehabilitation in Chipata. Further, the utility has also procured water treatment chemicals and dosing equipment to ensure effective water treatment, which will prevent waterborne diseases. Madam Speaker, Southern Water and Sanitation Company is undertaking critical interventions to improve water supply in key areas within its jurisdiction. In Livingstone, for example, the company is replacing 2 outdated and frequently fading 335 kilowatt pumps at the raw water intake. In Siavonga, Southern Water and Sanitation Company is addressing erratic water supply issues by procuring and installing a 1.8 kilometer rising main in order to improve water supply to several areas, including the new police camp, the police station, Michel, Black Soil, Game and Machinangala compounds. Madam Speaker, coming to the issue of CDF-supported water projects in various constituencies. Madam Speaker, you recall that following the directive by the President of the Republic of Zambia, Dr. Hakainde Hichilema, that priority be placed on improving water and sanitation service delivery in communities, the Ministry has been engaging members of Parliament, the local authorities, and community members to prioritize water supply and sanitation projects. I'm pleased, Madam Speaker, to report that a total of 31 million kwacha from CDF funds have been made available to commercial utilities for them to undertake water supply extension and sanitation improvement projects. For example, Southern Water and Sanitation Company received a total of 3.5 million kwacha to drill boreholes in Pemba, Mazabuka and Namwala and lay pipelines in Livingstone, Chirundu and Mazabuka to improve water supply in these areas. Western Water and Sanitation Company received about 3 million kwacha to procure and install hybrid pumps in Sioma, Changombo and Wampa, construction of a storage tank in Sesheke and network extension in Mwandi. Lusaka Water and Sanitation Company received about 9 million kwacha to construct 6 kiosks in Kanyama and laying of water networks in Baulen and Kabanana. Kafubu Water and Sanitation Company received about 2 million kwacha, which has gone to drilling and equipping of 3 boreholes in Masaiti and extending of the water network in Nkwazi and Chipulukusu areas of Ndola. In Northwestern Province, the company has received 9 million kwacha CDF funds, and the utility is drilling commercial boreholes in Kasempa and Manjiga districts, while the company is laying water networks in Mwinilunga's Kabanda Township. In Eastern Province, the company is constructing a water kiosk and reticulation system in Lundazi, as well as a water scheme in Lumezi from the 3 million received. Madam Speaker, I wish to take this opportunity to appeal to all members of Parliament, with special appeal to MPs from Central, Muchinga and Northern provinces to support the use of CDF for water supply and sanitation projects in their constituencies, as the budget for the Ministry of Water Development and Sanitation is simply inadequate to meet the ever-growing demand for water supply and sanitation services in all the 156 constituencies. Madam Speaker, kindly let me repeat this statement. I wish to take this opportunity to appeal to all members of this august House, with special appeal to MPs from Central, Muchinga and Northern provinces, to support the use of CDF for water supply and sanitation projects in their constituencies, as the budget for the Ministry of Water Development and Sanitation is simply inadequate to meet the overgrowing demand for water supply and sanitation services in all the 156 constituencies. Madam Speaker, I wish to conclude by reiterating my ministry's commitment and resolve to navigating the challenges brought by the drought and reduce water stress, support food and energy security, and prevent the outbreak of waterborne diseases by engaging in proactive strategies like leveraging on CDF, public awareness, adequate resource allocation, and timely interventions. It is my firm belief that concerted and consistent efforts from all citizens, including all of us honorable members of this House, will enable us successfully mitigate the negative effects of this punishing drought and, in the long run, help the country build resilience against climate shocks to enable us grow our economy and improve the well-being of our people. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much. I didn't hear for the appeal. For the appeal to use CDF, especially for members of Parliament from Central, Muchinga and Northern Province. There is an appeal. Honorable members are now free to ask questions on points of clarification on the ministerial statement presented by the Honorable Minister of Water, Development and Sanitation. The Honorable Member for Chifubu.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, we want to appreciate the effort government is currently taking to mitigate the water challenges that have been brought as a result of the drought. In your statement, Honorable Minister, you clearly stated that government is sinking about 160 bores, and these have been given to a contractor. How many contractors are involved in sinking these 160 bores to expedite the process for the service to our people? Thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Water, Development and Sanitation.
Madam Speaker, I think it's about 10 contractors who have been engaged to sink the 160 commercial boreholes. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Katombolo.
I thank you, Madam Speaker, for according the people of Katombola constituency an opportunity to ask the Honorable Minister a question relating to the commercial boreholes. Honorable Minister, I want to begin by thanking the government and your ministry, particularly in addressing the problems of water specifically during the drought time. It's because the previous government never invested in the area of water. Now, there was no investment. Therefore, the 160 commercial boreholes, how are they distributed, Honorable Minister? Particularly Katombola constituency, how many commercial boreholes are we getting? Because our people will also need some water. We thank you, Honorable Minister, and keep up with the good work, Honorable Minister. We thank you.
Thank you. All the honorable members, can we pay attention? And can we have order also? Those who are discussing, please tone down so that we follow the proceedings. There's an indication from the honorable member for Mukushi South. What is the point of order, honorable member?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the issue that the Minister of Water Development has brought is very important. I'm raising on a point of order pursuant to 71. The honorable member of Katombola, instead of asking a question, he starts insinuating that the previous government never invested in water, when he knows very well that the Kaflafta project was started by the previous government, and it was at 95%. The Kaputa water project, which was opened, was done by the previous government. The Mombosh Dam here in Chisamba, Madam Speaker, completed, was done by the previous government.
Order, honorable member.
Is the honorable member for Katombola, Madam Speaker, in order to start insinuating that because he has dug 2 boreholes in his constituents, to start insinuating that the current government has invested more in water than the previous government. I seek your serious ruling, Madam Speaker.
Order, honorable members. The honorable member for Mukushi South has raised a point of order. He has debated it and he has even answered himself. So let's make progress. The Honorable Minister of Water Development and Sanitation.
Madam Speaker, resulting from the question of the Honorable Member of Parliament for Katombola, let me state very, very clearly, Honorable Members, that the drilling of, Madam Speaker, I can't, you are water stressed in Northern Province, can you listen to me? The reason I'm saying what I'm saying, Madam Speaker, about the provinces I made the special appeal to is because we have seen very little effort being made from the CDF funds. It's not that they are pariahs, it's just that we are appealing to them. By the way, in other provinces, MPs are coming together to the ministry, and the ministry is using its technical expertise to design the least cost systems to speak to reducing water stress in a lot of the areas. I'll give an example of Dundumwezi, for example. Dundumwezi allocated almost 4 million kwacha actually to build an earth dam. So thank you very much, Honorable Singombe. Siziba Dam is on its way to being constructed. The question I may be asked consistently is, from 160 commercial boreholes, how many are going to various constituencies? Madam Speaker, the boreholes are mainly going to those areas which are very water stressed. Remember, not all districts were declared a disaster and an emergency. It's just a selected few. So it's a small number. However, government has budgeted for more boreholes and several other interventions in some of our areas where you may no need to drill boreholes. Madam Speaker, quickly as well, a clarification on a lot of the water projects which have been going on in the country. Indeed, a lot of boreholes or a lot of infrastructure projects were abandoned, obviously because of the funding gap. This government has made sure that we have allocated enough money to complete these projects, some of which were started then. So these projects will be completed and obviously they will benefit a lot of our people. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Ron.
Madam Speaker, I want to sincerely thank you for the opportunity. Honorable Minister, I also want to thank you for the blanket statement in as far as water is concerned in the country. I want to also commend your commercial utility company, Kafubu Water and Sewerage, for reverting back to Makoma Dam as their source of water as Kafubu River has completely dried. And also to hear that they are abandoning the armored cable as their source of power, but instead will now be depending on the aluminium cable to supply power. This will actually avoid vandals. Madam Speaker, it was elating to hear the Minister mention that Kafulafta Dam will soon be commissioned by His Excellency the President, particularly before the end of this month. Honorable Minister, since the country is still grappling with the challenges or the effects of drought, kindly assure the people of Mpongwe, Masaiti, Luanshya, and Indola districts that no sooner the President commissions the Kafulafta Dam than the water dries up. What are the encouragement that you are going to give the people of Ron constituency, in particular, that when the President commissions the Kafulafta Dam, the water will not dry up as we are still facing the challenges of the drought? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Water Development and Sanitation.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member, for that very, very important question, and I cannot agree more. Madam Speaker, areas which will benefit from this huge project are many. The number of our people is also very, very big. Kakoma Dam, indeed, we are back there. We did a technical assessment and realized that once we did certain works there, we would increase the holding capacity of that reservoir. On Kafulafuta Dam, let me confirm that the contractor and ourselves, including the consultant, obviously, we've been carrying out several tests to see how effective that project will be towards alleviating the suffering of our people as far as water is concerned. So far, the tests have shown very, very good results. Madam Speaker, let me also inform the Member of Parliament that we've been taking a multi-sectoral approach to see that maximum benefits accrue to our people. In this instance, we've been working with the Minister of Agriculture to ensure that the irrigation potential of that area is fully utilized. We've also been working with my friend here, Honorable Kapala, to ensure that the fish stocks are increased in that area. We've also been working, obviously, with the water utility itself to ensure that obviously more and more of our people are connected to water supply. So I can assure the people, your people, that of the Copper Belt in general, that they will see an improvement on water supply. They will also see an improvement on the quality of sanitation services the water utility will be providing. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Dundumwezi.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, thank you very much for the ministerial statement, which gives hope even to the people of Dundumwezi. Sir, I didn't hear you mention the amount of money that is put aside for dam rehabilitation. I have in mind Nanyem Dam in Dundumwezi. I have a name of Kalem Dam in Dundumwezi. Is there any money, Honorable Minister? Because these dams, even this year where we had this severe drought, these dams still have water that have assisted the people of Dundumwezi, but they need rehabilitation. Is there any money, Minister, that can go to such dams so that we can harvest much more water with this promising rain season this year? I thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Water Development and Sanitation.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for that very, very important question again. I can confirm to the Honorable Member of Parliament that this year we are not allocating any money to Dundumwezi, but to assure the people of Dundumwezi that in the subsequent budgets we will allocate some money. The people of Dundumwezi actually must be very happy and very thankful to their able Member of Parliament, because he's managed to put in excess of 4 million kwacha to construct the Ziba Dam. This is a very, very good intervention, and I can only call upon my other fellow members of Parliament to join in this crusade to use CDF. Madam Speaker, we are wasting a lot of money on loans which we will never recover, and we are not getting so much value. Why don't we give this money to water supply and sanitation? This is a clarion call to all members of Parliament. It's working elsewhere. In Nangoma, for example, we've constructed a very good dam there. Because we are cattle keepers, our animals are getting water from there. Because we are cattle keepers, the breed, the quality of the animals is improving. We will be able to increase our maize production. Some of the constituencies which are very, very water stressed, as many of these constituencies, they're also not putting a lot of any money in the in water and sanitation. I want to appeal to all of us here. Let's kindly allocate some money to water and sanitation. It's very, very important that we keep our people healthy. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Kanyama.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you for giving the people of Kanyama some fora to thank the government for what it's doing in terms of, water issues in Kanyama. As you may be aware, Kanyama has been neglected for a very long time in terms of development. But with such programs, Honorable Minister, I would want to thank you. However, Honorable Minister, in Kanyama, you have drilled a number of boreholes to mitigate the effects of drought and cholera outbreaks. However, I just want to know, out of all the earmarked boreholes that needs to be drilled, I just want to know when they'll be completed, and the program itself for Kanyama in particular will come to an end to alleviate people with the issues of water. I thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Water Development and Sanitation.
Madam Speaker, we are taking Kanyama, George Compound, and some of these cholera-prone areas very, very seriously with the water supplying to the areas. I can confirm that the ministry is drilling a number of boreholes in Kanyama, in George Compound, and the surrounding areas to ensure that we have quality water supply. In those areas, we are also doing a lot of sanitation facilities. Madam Speaker, most of these projects, some of these projects, I think most of them have been completed. We've done an additional to some of the other areas where we think it may be cholera prone. So we'll do everything possible, Madam Speaker, to ensure that we prevent these waterborne diseases. Madam Speaker, let me also again maybe reiterate, I may not have put it in a good way. On the loans, what I meant was there are certain projects we may be funding which may be wasteful. However, we believe that if these funds are directed to water projects, because water projects have the potential to also increase the irrigation potential, they have also got the potential to ensure that our people are not only food secure, but food surplus. We believe that this will be a better utilization of funds. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member from Sazvala.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Minister of Water, for that statement. Madam Speaker, the people of Msanzara would like to know, or would like to find out, what criteria are you going to use to allocate these 160 boreholes, as we are also have the similar challenges in Msanzara constituency, as it is one of the districts which was badly hit with the drought. What criteria, Madam Speaker, is he going to use to identify the points where these 116 boreholes are going to be drilled? I submit, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Water Development and Sanitation.
Let me confirm, Madam Speaker, that the Ministry is working very closely with the Minister of Community Development. The Ministry has also mapped these areas to see where the water stress is highest. The Ministry has also been engaging the local leadership, as well as the several surveillance measures we've been undertaking. Further, the Ministry has also been working with the Ministry of Agriculture to see how we can improve, obviously, the irrigation potential in these areas. So there's a systematic way we have done to ensure that the most affected areas are the ones which are going to receive the 160 bores. I want to assure all members of Parliament here that the budgetary allocation to the Ministry of Water Development and Sanitation will continue to increase because the demand for water is very, very big. The only thing I can say is let's work together. The Ministry also obviously would want to work with yourselves in your various constituencies. Put a bit of money there. The Ministry is also going to put a bit of money there so that together we can come up with the appropriate designs which will have the biggest impacts. I can assure you, Honorable Members of Parliament, that this is working, and this is working in a lot of areas. Just here in Baulen compound, Honorable Haimbe came to us. We designed a system. They put in some money. The Ministry also put in some money. We also found a donor. So the three of us came together to ensure that the budget which was required to supply surface water to Baulen compound was done. Baulen may be a very, very good example as we go forward. But I also want to acknowledge that a lot of us in Northwestern Province, for example, Mwinilunga, Manyinga, we are going in that direction. We are doing the same in Kasempa, Honorable Tambatamba. We're doing a lot of these areas so that we alleviate the suffering of our people. We believe that's the correct thing to do. We believe that one of the biggest impacts, this will be very, very big impact on our people. Come to the Ministry, let's sit down together and find solutions for our people. That money may be sitting in the CDF accounts, but yet our people need it for them to drink, for the animals, as well as for irrigation. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Mwandi.
Thank you so very much, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity. And Honorable Minister, I would want to thank you for that statement that you've given on the floor of the House. Just a kind reminder, Honorable Minister, before I actually ask the question, that your children at Iruteyeta School in Mwandi, the project that was initially taken on by the government to be funded under central government has not been done up to now. And your children are drinking saline water, water that was declared unfit for human consumption. Up to now, that school has not been done yet. So we look forward, Honorable Minister, through your ministry, and for us to find areas where we can collaborate so that that water can be done for Iluteyeta. But my substantive question, Madam Speaker, is, Honorable Minister, for example, in Mwandi, there were boreholes that were given under the ministry, which were 30, that we've not seen being sunk up to now.
When we plan in CDF, we know that this project is funded through central government, so we don't plan for it. But then when we came to the ministry, when I came to the ministry, I was given an update to say the contractors that was given to do those boreholes abandoned the project. But we have a Western Water and Sewerage Company that is domiciled in Western Province. I wanted to find out the linkage between the Ministry of Water and Sanitation and Western Water and Sewerage Company, because my thinking would have been, if there are boreholes that are going to be given in Mwandi, where we have saline water, the expertise that we can give to have those boreholes done, whether big or commercial, is Western Water and Sewerage Company, opposed to the ministry going to pick a contractor to come and do that, because in the end we end up having boreholes that are not done, contractors abandoning the sites. So you said you have 10 contractors. How are you working with the various water utility companies in those areas to making sure that they can also be part of the extension of water in these areas? I submit.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Water, Development and Sanitation.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for that very, very important question. And it gives me an opportunity to explain that the solution for supplying of water to our people not yet by way of drilling, as Western Province will show, when we get water from the rivers and Honorable Mtoto Kafwaya, we can also come up with the proper systems, obviously, because we have a lot of rivers where you come from. It's not just a borehole. So we want to work with you, sir, to ensure that we come up with the appropriate systems. Madam Speaker, what's the linkage? The linkage is that the Minister of Water Development and Sanitation appoints the board. And that board obviously is the one which appoints the management. So that institution reports to the ministry. And I can tell you that Western Water right now has been instructed to ensure that they come up with proper water solutions. It's not just drilling. I understand where Mwandi is coming from, because most of that water is saline water. You drill that borehole to be saline water, you need a purification plant. But I can tell you that we've sent experts there and they are designing a system. In fact, we've even done cost estimates. The cost for bringing that water to Ilute school in Mwandi is about 9 million kwacha. And I want to encourage the Member of Parliament to allocate some money so that we can do this project in phases. 9 million kwacha for one constituency is a lot of money. That's why, again, I'm appealing to all of you, honorable members of Parliament. I'm appealing, please, let's put that water in water supply and sanitation. It's the right thing to do. Most of us, like my good friend from Lundazi, we are MPs for rural constituencies. We need that water. Let's work together. We have the technical know-how, the technical expertise to come up with the least cost solutions, which will be very, very effective to the provision of water to our people. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Member for Chipili, what's the point of order?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. When the Minister was responding to one of the questions from the honorable members, he stated in his statement that no, the money that we are giving to, for loans that we are giving to our people will not be recovered. And it's wasteful. And my people in my constituency are dancing that actually the minister knows, the government knows that the money will never be recovered. It's wasteful. But here is appealing to us to say we need to do more, instead of him suggesting that the money that we are wasting on loans should be channeled to water. Is the minister in order, Madam Speaker, to make my people dance, that they will not pay the loans? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
I think when the Honorable Minister was answering, he clarified that point. He clarified that point, that instead of spending CDF money on projects that are not productive. Let's use that money for in water and sanitation. So he was he corrected himself. Initially he had said that, but he corrected himself. So honorable members, do encourage your members, your constituents, to pay. The loan means you have to pay back. It's not a grant. There's a difference between a grant and a loan. So please tell them to stop dancing. I'm sure you are communicating on WhatsApp now. Thank you very much. Let's make progress. The honorable member for Chama North.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity. Thank you, Minister, for that ministerial statement outlining measures the government is taking to address the water challenges in the country. Honorable Minister, currently I think we have a policy where we are giving first priority to indigenous contractors to drill these boreholes. And we are finding a lot of challenges because these local contractors, most of them are failing to execute their work. I know that there will have some boreholes which are still outstanding from 2022, 24 for Chama North and Chama South. So what is your government doing, Honorable Minister, to address this challenge? Because there is no way from 2022 up to this time, the contractors, they have not yet drilled those boreholes. So I want to find out what measures you are putting in place to ensure that we make it open so that we give priority and an advantage to these other contractors who are able to do a good job. I thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Water Development and Sanitation.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for that very, very important question. And let me repeat that the statement I made, obviously I withdrew it. It may have been misconstrued, but all loans which will be given out obviously will be recovered. A loan is a loan, is meant to be recovered. However, the manner in which what I wanted to communicate basically is that we can utilize most of the money in a better way in the water sector. So my apologies for misleading you, Honorable Taulo, if I did. Let me retract that statement. Madam Speaker, we found it as a very, very big challenge dealing with a lot of our local contractors, particularly in the water sector. I'll tell you that, Madam Speaker, in Western Province, for example, in Eastern Province, and the areas where the Member of Parliament comes from, we have had a failure rate in excess of 80%, 80%. You give this contractor to do boreholes and they've simply been failing. A lot of contracts are being cancelled now and we'll be retendering these works. Obviously, going forward, we need to increase supervision. We also need to ensure that we select capable contractors who will be able to carry out these works. So we're doing everything possible to ensure that obviously we bring these boreholes to you, our people. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Kwacha.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for allowing the good people of Kwacha to ask a follow-up question to the Minister of Water, Development and Sanitation. And also thank you, Honorable Minister, for those intervention measures which the government is putting in place on water challenges. Honorable Minister, in Kitwe, and particularly Kwacha compound, Wulangiro Township, there is a critical water challenge, very, very big challenge, where we have residents that are going for months without water. Now, out of the 160 commercial boreholes, which you have indicated in your ministerial statements, do we have anything that has been allocated to Kitwe, especially to these areas that I've outlined, so that that problem being faced can actually be eradicated? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Water Development and Sanitation.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for that very, very important question. However, I cannot confirm that a commercial borehole will be drilled in that area. But what I can confirm is that we are paying very particular attention to Kwacha and Vulangiru and several townships in Kitwe. I think one of the interventions is not really drilling of a commercial borehole, but extending of the water reticulation network to these areas. As to the specific, Madam Speaker, I will invite the Member of Parliament to my office so that we can have a discussion so that I can update him specifically. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Mufurira.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, Mufurira is not spared from this water crisis. Almost the entire district, people are struggling to have access to clean water because the boreholes or the wells that they used to run to have run dry, and the supply from Mulonga is very erratic. We appreciate your coming. I joined you when you visited us in Mufurira, and we went through that project which Mulonga is doing. I was listening attentively so that I could hear what the progress is, because you and I were there when they promised us that by December they should be commissioning. But I didn't hear. I don't know whether they are on course or not. But my question, Honorable Minister, as we are discussing this, we are also educating the nation how we are averting an outbreak of cholera. Honorable Minister, Mulonga Water has come up with a very strange way of dealing with their customers in Mufurira. Those that they are pushing to pay the water bills, they are going to the houses and blocking the sewer lines. These are houses that are already stressed. They don't have water and they don't have money to pay all the bills at one time. But in order to push for them to pay, they are blocking sewer lines, Honorable Minister, rendering, the whole community exposed to cholera outbreak. Is that a new way of enforcing payment of water bills for these utility companies? Instead of averting cholera outbreak, they are actually creating a situation where we may have one by them blocking the sewer lines in the households. I submit, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Water Development and Sanitation.
Let me thank the Honorable Member of Parliament for that very, very important question. And Madam Speaker, let me confirm that me and him had a very good time on the Copper Belt trying to alleviate the suffering of our people. And I want to encourage every Member of Parliament, whether from the UPND, the PF, the Independents, that the issue of water supply and sanitation, these are issues which we need to resolve together without any fear or favor. I want to encourage some of my fellow members of Parliament from the opposition. Let's work together. Let's work together. We need to come together to resolve these issues. I was also happy, Madam Speaker, we spent a lot of time also with Honorable Binu Mpundu, Honorable Kangombe, trying to find solutions to these challenges. Madam Speaker, coming to the specific problem, I took time to confirm that we've been engaging, and obviously I would have expected my very close friend to simply walk in my office and say, look, there's a problem here. This problem will be resolved. Blocking sewer lines is not acceptable. So if Mulonga is doing this, obviously we will order them to stop it immediately, because we need to ensure that the sewer obviously goes to the right places, that's the ponds. So, Honorable Member of Parliament, I can assure you, without any fear of contradictions here, that they will be ordered to stop this methodology. However, I also want to encourage our people to pay these bills. These are very small bills, very small tariff. These are, in fact, very uneconomic tariffs. The water utilities are struggling to pay bills for energy, to pay bills for the workers, to pay bills for the fuels. So I can only encourage our people to come through, pay those bills so that the commercial utilities can provide you with water, can provide you with a quality service. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. There was an indication from the Honorable Member for Chinsali for a point of order. What's the point of order?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise on a point of order pursuant to Standing Order number 73, which talks about being relevant and to avoid repetitions. The Minister, in addressing questions, He's been engaging in serious repetitions and talking about things that are, I can say, irrelevant, so that the time finishes fast and he avoids answering questions. I'll give an example of an irrelevant issue that he talked about, how he enjoyed spending time with my good brothers, Christophe and I think Binwell, which is not relevant to what we are discussing here, because we want to ask serious questions here regarding how our people are suffering with water. Is it in order, this minister, to engage in irrelevant debate when we want to discuss things that matter here? Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Honorable Member for Chinsali, I believe the Honorable Minister was repeating himself for purposes of emphasis, and he just wanted, and he has been appealing to the Honorable Members to go to his office. So when he was saying that he enjoyed the time with some Honorable Members, he was just giving an example and encouraging other members to visit his office. So if you have a burning issue, Honorable Member for Chinsali, the Honorable Minister is available. Please do approach him. Don't wait until he comes with a ministerial statement so that you ask him questions. Because this actually was his own initiative to come to the House and explain the issue of water, especially that we are going into a period when there is cholera, outbreak of cholera. So please do visit him. He's there, willing to see you anytime, even at break time, or even now you can approach him. Thank you very much. So we make progress.
Madam Speaker.
Oh, sorry, the Honorable Minister wants to.
I think I need to respond. Madam Speaker.
No, let's make progress.
Madam Speaker, I don't think this type of grandstanding should be allowed. It should be relevant to the speech, sir.
Order, Honorable Minister, I've already guided. Of course, the tone in which the Honorable Member raised his point of order also is not very, very encouraging. Let's work together as brothers and sisters. You see, now you can even have coffee together. Please don't pinch each other there. Let's make progress. I have also permitted the Honorable Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry to present a ministerial statement. The Honorable Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry.
Madam Speaker, let me begin by expressing my gratitude for according me this opportunity to give a ministerial statement on the status and progress of Zambia's industrialization development agenda. I am glad to inform the August House that the new Dawn government has made a priority to industrialize this country as a way of contributing to economic transformation and job creation as espoused in our 8th National Development Plan. Madam Speaker, I will present this afternoon some of the key flagship programs that this government is implementing. Before I present the projects, Madam Speaker, I must mention that the industrialization agenda and attraction of investment is not by accident. A conducive business environment needs to be created to support this agenda. Therefore, what this able government, Madam Speaker, is doing is to implement a few changes, and the first among them was to immediately, when we were voted, to transform and change the Business Development and Trade Act, number 18 of the year 2022, which was meant to foster economic and industrial development. This government, Madam Speaker, further amended the ITBD Act number 18 of the year 2022, which provides incentives for expansion projects and widened the scope for incentives in the rural communities. For this, Madam Speaker, I wish to convey my profound gratitude to all the members of Parliament in this House for supporting the enactment and amendment of this progressive act. Madam Speaker, we will continue to implement reforms aimed at bettering our investment climate. One such reform is the introduction of online application for the investment licenses, which has made it easier for investors, both local and foreign, to acquire their investment licenses. Development, Madam Speaker, of special economic zones in various forms, such as multi-facility economic zones, industrial parks, and trade zones, has been prioritized as channel to advance industrialization, particularly in the rural communities. We will be developing special economic zones across the country, as has been emphasized by His Excellency President Hakainde Hichilema. We are already working on development of beef and crop economic zones in collaboration with our sister ministries of agriculture and livestock. There has been a lot of interest from the private sector to develop special economic zones in different parts of this country. It is envisaged that these zones will greatly contribute to economic growth, rural development, job creation, poverty alleviation, government revenues, foreign exchange earnings, and wider economic linkages. We will continue with our investment promotion efforts to attract both local and foreign investors. We will also continue providing applicable fiscal incentives and continue to benchmark with our neighboring countries to ensure that we remain very competitive. We have continued to provide tax reliefs under Statutory Instrument number 110 of the year 2020 that suspends customs duty on manufacturing raw materials not locally produced. Further, in our efforts to promote industrialization, we have been promoting joint ventures and partnerships. These, Madam Speaker, assist in unlocking affordable foreign capital and technology transfer to our people. May I also inform this August House that are working on an instrument that will assist us to actualize positive discrimination. This instrument will assist to build industrial capacity by assuring local manufacturers in selected sectors of the market. Madam Speaker, despite our country going through a number of challenges occasioned by the worst drought in the past 40 years, we continue to witness continued confidence in our economy as reflected by increased investment and expansion of existing projects from which job creation is being attained. In this regard, allow me to take this opportunity to highlight some key projects that have recently been commissioned and those in the pipeline and expected to be completed by next year. Madam Speaker, the projects are not limited to these that I will outline below. The Zambia-China Mulungushi Textile Joint Venture Limited. As you are aware, Madam Speaker, Mulungushi Textile is a joint venture between the Zambian government and the People's Republic of China, with the former holding 34% shares and the latter 66% shares. Mulungushi Textiles, Madam Speaker, will be brought back to life in the first quarter of 2025, 17 years after it was shut. The development of the facilities will be undertaken in 4 phases, Madam Speaker. The phases namely, number 1, printing fabrics and garments at an estimated investment of $20 million. Number 2, a 20 megawatt solar power plant at an estimated investment cost of $20 million. This plant will generate power for Mulungushi Textiles, while the excess will be fed into the national grid. Number 3, solar panel assembly plant at an estimated cost of $50 million. Number 4, spinning facility at an investment cost of $80 million. Madam Speaker, in August 2024, I officially received the first consignment of containers carrying various machines and equipment from China. I am glad to inform you that the equipment has continued to flow into the country destined for Mulungushi Textiles. It is unfortunate that the challenges that we experienced in Mozambique after the election has put a strain to the free flow of this equipment into our country. However, the flowing of equipment has continued. I am also pleased to inform you that the company is expected to create about 500 jobs, business opportunities through economic linkages with Mulungush Textile that will be created. The last phase, Madam Speaker, which is expected to be commissioned next year by His Excellency the President, will contribute to the development of cotton value chain, and more importantly, over 10,000 small-scale cotton farmers are expected to be engaged in an outgrower scheme through the outgrower schemes, Madam Speaker. This is good news for Kabwe, a town, Madam Speaker, whose economic activities have been relatively depressed. Among the industries, Madam Speaker, that we have launched, the United Capital Fertilizer, which we have also done an expansion project. As you may be aware, Madam Speaker, and members of Parliament, Zambia has made significant strides in fertilizer production. We are now able to export fertilizer to other neighboring countries, namely Botswana, Tanzania, Zimbabwe, and the DRC. Madam Speaker, this has been done through a company called United Capital Fertilizer. When previously, Madam Speaker, we were depending on imports, now we are beginning to be a net exporter of this facility. I wish to inform you that UCF has been expanding its operations with phase 2 of the project, which has been producing 400,000 metric tons of multi-nutrient fertilizer and has continued to create jobs. And in May 2024, this phase created 800 more jobs in addition to the 1,800 that it already had done. The company has continued with its expansion program under phase 3. That will be commissioned in the first quarter of next year, 2025. About $600 million has been invested under this phase for a rear plant with production capacity of 300,000 metric tons annually. Once completed next year in the first quarter, this phase will create additional 2,000 jobs, direct jobs, Madam Speaker. In addition, UCF will produce 85 megawatt of electricity and is working on developing a 600 megawatt coal-powered electricity plant in Sinazeze district. Madam Speaker, we have received more interest in the fertilizer production currently, and planned expansions in fertilizer production not only moved us to self-sufficiency fertilizer country, but also to a regional power hub in the production of fertilizer. Madam Speaker, we've continued on the path of industrialization. Late this year, Madam Speaker, His Excellency the President had gone to commission what we are calling a powerful, diligent, veracious, or PDV Metals Zambia Limited. PDV is a modern steel plant that was recently commissioned by His Excellency the President of the Republic of Zambia in Lusaka South Mount Facility Economic Zone. That will produce steel from scrap metal. Madam Speaker, we've always been exporting scrap metal. A time has come when we developed value out of it. A total of $100 million has been invested and 500 direct jobs have been created. The company has an installed capacity of 300,000 metric tons per annum of high-quality steel bars, making itself a pioneering force in Africa's steel industry. In future, the company has got also plans to invest in an iron core mine that will be used in the production of steel. Madam Speaker, Irumin New Energy is a new company that we have set up. I am glad to inform you that in August, that 30 years since Zambia produced its own batteries, 30 years has passed by Mansa Batteries. A new company, Irumin New Energy Zambia Limited, located in the Zambia Junction Facility Economic Zone, has commenced production of ordinary batteries, Madam Speaker, for our cars. And these batteries, Madam Speaker, are ranging from domestic to industrial vehicles. As we speak, Madam Speaker, production is in process and they are doing test runs before they launch next year of these batteries. The facility has the capacity to produce 420,000 batteries per annum. This facility has created currently 120 jobs which will create more than 200 if they expand next year, with a vision of building lithium batteries once Zambia concludes its lithium policy. Madam Speaker, because of the revision of the Trade and Investment Bill, expansion policies has attracted more expansion even in the health sector. Yash Life Sciences. Madam Speaker, it is not accidental that we have seen drugs in hospitals, both in rural and urban communities. Madam Speaker, I am once again glad to inform you that government recently commissioned a penicillin manufacturing plant by Yash Life Sciences that responded to the conducive investment policies through this expansion project. And our aim is to ramp up local production of drugs, Madam Speaker, so that we can be drug sufficient and reduce importation of drugs. A total of $29 million was invested and about 700 direct jobs have been created. Madam Speaker and honorable members of Parliament, in the mining sector, to attract and add value addition, Jiangxi Copper Optoelectronics Company Limited has been set up. The Jiangxi Company Limited, located in the Jiangxi Multi-Facility Economic Zone in Chibombo, commenced production of copper cables for household wiring and power cables this year in June 2024. About $10 million was invested in the first phase, with 30 direct jobs created. The number of jobs is expected to rise to 100 once the company is performing at full capacity. In the continued value addition of our raw materials of copper, Uniflex was established this year, a company that is meant, Madam Speaker, to produce and has continued to produce electric cables and rods, which is set in Lusaka, Chinika area. The production capacity of this company is 3,600 metric tons of cables and wires per annum. 150 direct jobs have been created, and their expansion project of a medium voltage company is underway, which they are expecting to complete in the second quarter of next year, and it will create 350 direct jobs. Madam Speaker, Zambia has got a vision of becoming the biggest producer of copper wires in Africa. As we strive to attain the 3 million metric tons of copper production per annum by the year 2031, my ministry is working tirelessly to ensure that this copper is beneficiated and value added, hence the thing of this company setting up. It is in this connection that our vision as a ministry is to transform Zambia into the largest copper wires and cable manufacturing hub in Africa. I commend many copper wire companies that are setting up in this country and those that have continued to produce copper wires to not only service Zambia, but the region as a whole. Madam Speaker and honorable members of Parliament, there are a number of key projects that are in the pipeline. Allow me, Madam Speaker, to quickly highlight a few before my time is up. Madam Speaker, the fertilizer plant by Blooming Chemical Industry, who are going to add the production to United Capital Fertilizer. Earlier this year, we signed an investment promotion and protection agreement with Blooming Chemical Industry Limited. This company, Madam Speaker, is about to invest fertilizer production in Siavonga, and the planned investment is about $845 million and production capacity of 520,000 tons of urea. This investment, Madam Speaker, makes our desire to be a regional production hub for fertilizer not a far-fetched dream, but a soon-to-be-realized dream. Madam Speaker, our very own Trade Kings, Madam Speaker, has continued to invest in this country. Starch is something that countries in Africa have continued to import from Europe and Asia. But now, for the first time, we are setting up one here in the southern region, which is going to be a bigger plant than we have in one of the countries here. Trade Kings has been developing a starch plant, which will be commissioned in 2025. About $40 million is being invested, and the plant capacity is 100,000 tons of corn processing per annum. Over 500 jobs will be created next year, and this will increase the need and production of maize by ourselves and other producers across the country. Madam Speaker, we want to set up more industrial development areas as a mode of developing our economy as opposed to be a consuming country. There is also another desire, and soon, Madam Speaker, we will be producing cement with another plant, which we are very confident that setting up more of these, there will be need for prices even to naturally start coming down, responding to the law of supply and demand. On 15th November 2024, we signed an investment promotion and protection agreement with Zambia China DGIN for cement production. The company plans to invest a total of $170 million, of which $70 million has already been actualized. Madam Speaker, the planned investment will have production capacity of 550,000 metric tons of cement per year. Madam Speaker, I thought I could bring this statement to the House so that we can outline and highlight our focus and vision to grow our economy in a resilient and sustainable way by industrializing our country. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable members are now free to ask questions on points of clarification on the ministerial statement presented by the Honorable Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry. The Honorable Member for Mwembeji.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Minister, for that update, and you're working very hard. Minister, I just wanted to know, there is one, maybe you didn't highlight one aspect. Some companies wanted to invest into mapping of the waste, like paper, so that they can renew it. It seems there's a lot of problems in trying to set up that plant here in Zambia. What is the problem? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry.
Madam Speaker, sorry, may I just request that the question is repeated? I missed it.
Honorable Member for Mwembeji, please repeat your question.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, Minister, I was saying that a well-known company, which you have actually named in one of your statements, have been trying to set up a plant of processing recycled materials like plastic paper. You can see in the city, Lusaka here, there's a lot of litter. Now, it seems when this company is trying to invest a lot of money into it, into this project, without actually getting a debt from the government, they are having a lot of problems in setting up this plant, which is very important. What is the problem why this company is not being set out? I thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It is my responsibility as a public servant, and it's our responsibility as a government to implement or support companies that want to invest in such facilities. I would be glad if the Member of Parliament, even on the sideline, can guide me to this company, and I would love to learn their challenges so that we can support them to set up. I submit, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Luena.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, thank you very much for that very, very inspiring statement. Honorable Minister, one note that you have alluded to the opening up of the rural areas as part of efforts to industrialize Zambia and leaving no part of the country behind. And one notes the many concession projects that your government has concluded. I do know that just over the weekend, the Solwezi Kipushi and the Mutanda Kasempa Kaoma, I know that not too long ago, the Kasomeno Mwenda. So, Honorable Minister, all these projects are being done through new concession entities. And many out there who are not familiar with the corporate structure of concessions keep on wondering how a new entity is registered as a concession bringing together multiple partners and is awarded a contract such as the BHL, which is handling the
Mutanda Kasempa Kaoma Road. Would you take this opportunity to explain to the nation the benefits of triple P projects, as well as the structure of these entities, to the effect that there is absolutely nothing strange with new entities being awarded big projects? So would you explain to the people of Luena and the rest of the nation how these things come about? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I want to thank the Honorable Member for Luena for a good question. Madam Speaker, he has spoken about the public-private partnerships, where we are working with the private sector to develop our economy. Madam Speaker, as you may be aware, our treasury has been strained, and we need to still provide economic development to the public. And to achieve this, Madam Speaker, His Excellency the President has been very ingenious in how we can mobilize the private sector to work along with the public sector, which is government, in developing an economy. Madam Speaker, the Kasempa, Kaoma, Mutanda Road, for years it has remained without development, and governments come, governments have gone. The people in these localities have remained without infrastructure development. Madam Speaker, these are areas which are richly endowed, not only in mineral wealth, but in human capital that can contribute meaningfully to the development of this economy. But they've been starving with infrastructural development. There is nothing new, or there is nothing strange, Madam Speaker, in seeing a new company registered, tendering for a project and be awarded. The way concessions are done, especially on the PPP model, it is okay for anyone to observe that they can contribute meaningfully to a certain project. But if they are not a registered entity, they cannot be supported. But they should be formal, registered under PACRA, and registered within all government requirements, statutes, then they will be supported. Then they can provide and bring that proposal they have. If there is no any other competing bid, we can single source. If there is a competing bid, we'll subject it to the tender processes, and if they provide a better competing bid, it is very legal, it goes to them. So what we are seeing today, Madam Speaker, is an ingenious way of getting government projects, or should I say public projects, working. Government in its current form could not have afforded to provide $371 million to provide a road to Kasempa, to Mutanda, to our lovely people of Kaoma. Now, for the first time in a long time, the beautiful people of that province and locations will have roads that will improve their agricultural facilities, our industrial development, among many others. I submit, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Kwachu.
Thank you once again, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity given. And also let me thank the Minister for the inspiring ministerial statement that he has presented on the floor of the House. Honorable Minister, there are quite a number of multi-economic facility zones that the government has actually constructed. I've noticed one in Chivombo. I also have in mind one in Chambesh. Now, I would like to know how many countrywide have been constructed by the government through your ministry, and also how many are operational as we speak at this present day. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I hope I can remember and itemize them clearly here. We've got Chambish Multi-Facility Economic Zone, Chivombo Multi-Facility Economic Zone, Lusaka Southeast, which is closer to the airport, Multi-Facility Economic Zone, Lusaka South, Multi-Facility Economic Zone, and we have just done one, Baobab, in Kafue, Multi-Facility Economic Zone. Madam Speaker, we have done 5. And we are in the process, Madam Speaker, of doing 2 more. It was a member of Parliament, I must remember, from Kamfinsa, who also made a recommendation that we should proceed in that direction. We are doing an agro-processing facility, agro-zone. This is in Mpongwe, Masaiti, and the other parts of the Copper Belt. And the other now beef zone that we want to set up must be in the southern part of Zambia, that is Namwala, where much of the agriculture, the farming of beef is being done. So far we've got 5 that are actualized and 2 are on their way coming. I submit, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Mbavala.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister, and thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving the good people of Mbavala an opportunity to ask a follow-up question on this very, very nice report given by our Commerce Minister. This is very inspiring and encouraging to our people. Honorable Minister, could you tell how many jobs have been created as a result of this huge investment you have put, especially that rural areas that people like the people of Mbavala would like also to participate in this national cake by getting some jobs. So do we know how many jobs have been created over all these various investments, including the total portfolio in billions of kwacha or something like that? Thank you so much.
Thank you. Honorable members, those who are discussing, please tone down because I can hear you from here. Honorable Member for Bangweru, you are not even following the proceedings. Please, can you tone down? I can hear what you are saying from here. The Honorable Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, even in my ministerial statement, I was mentioning the number of jobs that have been created. I can quickly say, Madam Speaker, that under the Mulungush textiles, 500 direct jobs have been created. United Capital Fertilizer, Madam Speaker, with the summation, it will be 3,000 direct jobs that have been created. Madam Speaker, for PDV, which is a steel company, Madam Speaker, there will be 500 direct jobs that have been created, Madam Speaker. For the Armin New Energy Zambia battery, which is manufacturing batteries, we have got 120 direct jobs that have been created. Madam Speaker, for me not to keep this House bored or repetitive, allow me to make this statement and speech available to the Honorable Minister to see the total number of jobs that have been created. But in excess of 6,000 jobs have been created from these industries I spoke about. I submit, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Feira.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and also thank the Honorable Minister of Commerce for the statement. Madam Speaker, as a country, we have a history in terms of industrialization. Firstly, before independence, our economy basically was driven by an extractive industry. Our minerals were being taken out by the colonialists. After independence, the UNIP government also came up with a number of policies and a number of measures, which were done into the Mulungushi reforms as well as the material reforms, where we saw a proliferation of a number of state enterprises. Later on, a number of efforts were done. But also I'm cognizant of the fact that nations, as they industrialize, there's always a lead industry. For instance, if you look at the UK, there was coal, which was the basis, German steel, agriculture in terms of, Belgium and others. And as I listened to you, you talked about enactment of various acts and, a number of measures that have recently been made. Now, my concern really is what really is a focus of the UPND government as it relates to industrializing this country. There has to be, there are a number of sectors, but there has to be one which leads even others. Like I've said, in other places, agriculture, even China, it was more of agriculture, which brought in more other industry, mechanization and so on. But I think if we have all these isolated efforts, we probably, will just be supporting these foreign entities, because most of these efforts are basically foreign. So perhaps my question is, what is the lead industry as you see it, which is easier and can pull this country's economy to further heights. I thank you.
The honorable members, as we ask points of clarification, let's be precise to the point. It's not a time to debate. The Honorable Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry.
Madam Speaker, if you saw in my statement, I left out mentioning the reopened, many recapitalized mining industries. Our chief earner of forex, creator of jobs, among others, is the mining sector. I want to thank the Honorable Member for Feira for saying which one is our anchor ministry as Zambia. Honorable members, it is unfortunate that in the past regime, the mining sector was shut and closed. This is key, Madam Speaker, in giving us a much-needed strength to build on other industrial development. The mining sector, Honorable Member, is key for our forex, is key to be a platform where other industrial growth is set up. It is the more reason why you have seen that His Excellency has invested heavily in making sure that the mines are opened, the new ones are reinvested in, so that the forex we get from there, the revenue we get from there, is also channeled to reinvestment and growth in other value chains and other industrial base. I thank you, Honorable Member and Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Before I call on the next Honorable Member, there is an indication for a point of order. Honorable Member for Lunte. What's
Madam
the point
Speaker,
of order?
I would like to appreciate you for according me this opportunity. I rise on a point of order pursuant to Standing Order number 71 against the Honorable Minister of Commerce. Madam Speaker, it is a very well-known fact that UPND has just been in power for 3 years. The party that he joined, and he has been in that party for that period of time. I am happy, Madam Speaker, that UPND has made him a minister and he can give a ministerial statement. But is it in order to deliberately mislead the House and the nation that in the previous government, and I suppose he's referring to PF government, that the mining sector was shut? And you have even admitted the discourse, Madam, without demanding for him to provide evidence, because he has made a damning statement. Madam Speaker, is the minister in order not to just stick to his ministerial statement, but to begin to politic where there is actually no need for politicking? I seek your serious ruling, Madam.
From where I'm seated and listening to the Honorable Minister, following the question that was asked by the Honorable Member for Feira, the Honorable Minister was trying to answer the Honorable Member for Feira by indicating that the mainstay of the economy is mining, that he had not mentioned those mines that had been closed, and yet that is the mainstay of the economy. Honorable Member for Lunte, you are aware that some mines were closed, not maybe recently, but they've been closed for a number of years, and they've just been revived. Honorable Member for Lunte, you want to argue your point of order, or you are listening to the guidance? No, let's not point finger. You know, you are saying that the Honorable Minister is politicizing. I think on the converse, it's you, Honorable Member for Lunte, who is trying to politicize the whole thing. We were proceeding very nicely here, calmly, without any pointing of fingers, but now you are starting to politicize. Let's stick to the ministerial statement. Let's ask questions. I know some things happened, not because people wanted, but it happened. And we don't want to start burying our heads in the sand and think that what happened did not happen. It happened. So let's just see how can we improve on what happened so that we build a better economy for our people. I think that is where we stand. So let's make progress. The Honorable Member for Kabwe Central.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity to ask a follow-up question to the ministerial statement. First of all, I want to say thank you so much, Minister, your government, your new government, and your president. Indeed, it's the first government that fulfilled the government assurance of reopening Mlungushi textiles after 17 years. It is really a great milestone. And indeed, this industry is not just a benefit for people of Kabwe or Central Province, it is even a multi-sectoral in nature. There is energy that's going to benefit, agriculture, there's SMEs for the indirect, for the business owners. Of course, there is your ministry, which is benefiting from this same industry. Now, Minister, before, in the MMD government, before Mlungushi textiles were closed, there are some issues to do with the under-declaring of profits. That saw Mlungushi textiles going down. And the dividend that the government of Zambia was getting was very, very little because of the same issues. And what measures are you going to put in place the management system to make sure that we do not experience what we experienced earlier on of under-declaring of the profits, such that we start receiving very little dividend from this very, very important industry? Thank you so much.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much. But Madam Speaker, it is important that I state this before I answer this question. Whenever a serious matter is brought to Parliament, it is important that myself and other colleagues take it that serious. Madam Speaker, it is a very undisputable fact that indeed mines stopped functioning at one time. I worked for Konkola Copper Mines, Madam Speaker. It was because of wrong policies, it stopped production and went on care and maintenance. Madam Speaker, I lived on the copper belt. We saw Mopani stop producing and recording negatives. Madam Speaker, I was sitting and interacting with other senior mining officials. Lumwana stopped expanding and was at the verge of leaving. Kansanshi was at the verge of leaving because of the PF negative policies, which the bitter honorable member is talking about today. Bitterness will choke my elder brother, Madam Speaker. When there is progressive discussions and debate, I suggest the honorable member, Madam Speaker, should be progressive in his debates.
Order.
Madam Speaker,
Honorable Member for Lunte.
they shut their minds.
Honorable Member for
Now we are reviving
Order,
them.
Honorable Minister. Honorable Member for Lunte, you cannot behave in that manner. If you are sent out, you complain that you've been sent out. What type of behavior is that, Honorable Member? No, you cannot. Order, Honorable Members, order. Honorable Members, you were seated, Honorable Member for Lunte, you were seated in your seat. When you got frustrated, you opted to go out, but instead of going out quietly, you started talking and confronting the Honorable Minister who was on the floor of the House. That is not acceptable behavior, Honorable Member. If you want to go outside quietly, without interfering with the proceedings. You may take leave. You will come back when you are ready to listen to others. May the Honorable Minister continue.
I will continue, Madam Speaker, and I thank you. Indeed, Madam Speaker, we need to work collectively to build this economy. Bitterness, maybe a 200,000 was paid as a presidential fee, Madam Speaker, must be refunded to my elder brother. Madam Speaker, the honorable member has, from Mlungushi, yes, the honorable member, Madam Speaker, from Mlungushi has asked a good question. Sorry, for Kabwe Central. Sorry, I sincerely apologize, honorable member. She's Madam Speaker, Mlungushi sits in her constituency. So probably we should call her, Madam Speaker, she's worked very hard to lobby for the reviving of the industry. Madam Speaker, indeed there has been under declaration of profits among other things. And the parallel economy, Madam Speaker, has been run for years, where government has been losing revenue. It is for this cause that the Zambia Revenue Authority has come up with an electronic procurement system, transacting system and trading facility, where every sale is noted immediately it is done. So that declarations, Madam Speaker, are as they are done. This will help avert illicit wrong declarations or illicit business transactions. So we look forward to support from all the members of Parliament to this newly introduced electronic trading facility. Madam Speaker, I submit.
Thank you. The Honourable Member for Matero.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I want to commend the Minister. Before I was going to commend him until he passed the comment a short while, but he's one of the ministers that has had his head on his shoulder, and one of astute ministers, and one that has not been caught by the "you know who I am" approach when walking. So I want to commend him on that. Madam Speaker, the UPND government, since they've come the last 3 years, and going by the statement, they've adopted the semi-unique approach of getting involved in industries and leaving the private sector aside. While they've given incentives to the private sector, the local industries have not been given incentives, budget after budget. He's spoken about Mulungushi in Kafue. A lot is happening indeed. We've seen many ceremonies. Mulungushi Textile in Kabwe. The one-term MP for Kaputa. I'm on the floor. Madam Speaker.
Order, honourable members. If you really want to ask a question, honourable member, concentrate on what you are saying. Mulungushi Textiles is not in curfew.
Mulungushi Textile, we've seen containers come. Only 10% have come, you said yourself. And the other 90 is yet to arrive. There's no guarantee in the next 3 years that industry will take off. Now, my question, in your statement, the industrialization you've spoken about, you concentrated on Mulungushi Textile in Kabwe. In Mr. Proud's voice, Mr. Proud, the radio caller, I want to find out, as per your promise, you did not mention Kafue Textile. In Kafue, Kafue is now a ghost town. You did not mention nitrogen chemicals in Kafue. You did not mention Chipata bicycles in Chipata. You did not mention Mansa batteries in Mansa. Livingstone Motor Assembly, you did not mention. Kasama Coffee, Dunlop, Mongo Cashew Nuts, you are quiet. Swap spinning, Ruansha Zamefa. Is Zambia just about Mulungushi Textile, and is industrialization just about Mulungushi Textile? Is this another TikTok, talk after talk? We will see industries revamped in Zambia. That's my question.
Order, honourable members, order. I'm just wondering whether the honourable member was in the house or he just came in. The Honourable Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you for the Honourable Member for Matero for his question and concern. Madam Speaker, there are so many companies that we are reviving that I can take the whole day to discuss in Parliament. As for Kafue, Honourable Member, thank you for your concern. Nitrogen Chemicals of Zambia is being recapitalized. $6 million of a blending plant is being done in Kafue, Nitrogen Chemicals of Zambia. And including this year, they have contributed to the FISIP. For the first time in a long time, this is happening. And about 225, if I'm not mistaken, I need to check with my technical team, 225 new jobs in Kafue have been created. And when you talk about Mansa batteries, Madam Speaker, I should say this. We were in a habit of collapsing industries, Madam Speaker. But what we have done under this president, Madam Speaker, we want even the honorable members, Mercedes-Benz, My Spatial, their Corollas and other caterpillars that are used in the industries to be built out of the manganese that we are mining in Luapula, in Central Province. And the batteries now are being done in Chiwombo. The old Mansa batteries that was there, it was sold off, Madam Speaker, and I hear they want to put a shopping mall. It is now in private hands. Mulungushi Textiles, it was never sold off, but it just became defunct. And it is not only 10%. As we speak, there is also installation of equipment. I would invite all members of Parliament, Madam Speaker, to visit the facility and see what is happening. So there is a huge number of industries that we are setting up. There is PDV steel plant, which has never been in Zambia. Now, Madam Speaker, we will not be exporting scrap metal. we'll be processing steel our own. And this is creating value chains in the mining industry of steel balls. Honorable Kamwombe, mechanical engineer, understands what I'm talking about, among many other things that we'll be doing. So, Madam Speaker, I think the honorable member was not in the House when I talked about a huge chain of industrial development that we are setting up. I submit, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. That's the problem of coming late. The honorable member for Mwenilonga.
Shukra, Madam Speaker. Shukra means thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to advise the Minister. He has made me to be a very happy person this afternoon. A very wise Runda man in Mwinilonga advised me that if you are going to draw water, be focused, go and draw water. Don't listen to frogs. I'm not insulting. There are some criticisms that may not really mean well. So be focused and draw your water like we are doing. Madam Speaker, I'm very, very elated this afternoon by the statement that has come from the Minister. An ambitious industrialization program that our government has embarked on. Minister, in very simple terms, would you explain to us and through us, to our country, to our people, are we witnessing a turn of, economic fortunes in this country? Please tell us. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, before the Honorable Minister comes to answer, you use some saying, but if you leave it without explaining it, it might sound unparliamentary. Maybe you can explain what you meant by saying do not listen to frogs as you go to fetch water. So just explain it, put it in context of what you were trying to advise the Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I thought I explained a little bit. In fact, it's in Runda and Ruvale. In Ruvale, they say, Sweetamea, Kangana Uvira Wimbotoko. That's in Ruvale. In Runda, they say, Yaku Wakatauni Menji, Bayutirira Yuraku. Meaning, if you are going to draw water, be focused. Go and draw your water. Don't listen to people. Don't listen to frogs. Frogs sometimes is quoted to people who make meaningless criticisms. That's what it means. Very wise things from Mwinilonga Sensere.
So with that explanation, the Honorable Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry can answer the question.
Madam Speaker, I think I should just thank the honorable member for the question that he has posed, and I heed his guidance. Madam Speaker, I submit.
Thank you. The honorable member for Sinazongwe.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, we are just from listening to your statement of achievements in terms of industrialization of the country. Now, there is one issue which you never mentioned, Minister, which I know you are very passionate about, including the President. That is the manufacturing industry of electric vehicles, which the company that should have been constructed in Ndola. I wanted to find out whether you have shelved the idea or it is still there, since you never mentioned it. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We have not shelved the idea of the electric batteries in Ndola. Madam Speaker, what was done was a pre-feasibility study which was financed by the Afrexim Bank.
It was the electric vehicles, I think, not batteries, electric vehicles.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The electric vehicles in Ndola. Sorry, I said something else when I meant just that. The electric vehicles and electric batteries that were done in Ndola. Madam Speaker, if you may remember, last year it was a joint venture that we did between Zambia and the DRC. Zambia and the DRC did that pre-feasibility study, which was financed by Afreximbank, a technical team that was constituted by UNECA, for a team called Arise from Dubai, and the Zambian consortium. We have done all the feasibility studies, and indications show that a plant, if it is set up between Zambia and the DRC, twin plants, they will be the cheapest to produce these electric batteries and precursors. But you know, DRC just came from elections, and they are settling down with their government. So UNECA and Afreximbank have said we should not go alone, we wait for our friends to settle down, and we lift up together. But there is a point, Madam Speaker, which I think I did not even answer accordingly, when the Member of Parliament for Mwinilunga asked a question to say, is this an industrialized approach that Zambia is getting? Indeed, Madam Speaker. There is no way you develop an economy, Madam Speaker, by shutting industries. Growing an economy, Madam Speaker, is opening gineries in his plant like Mwinilunga Ginery, where he will build pineapple drinks. Madam Speaker, we need to create industries. Industries that create jobs. Jobs that create meaningful taxes and businesses, Madam Speaker. So it is the more reason why you see that this government is on a path of reviving industries and setting up new ones so that we become self-sufficient in other products, Madam Speaker. I submit.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Sikongo.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity. Madam Speaker, I would like to thank the Minister for his statement. And I think the statement is so inspiring and a clear indication that actually this country is in safe hands, in the hands of President Hakainde Hichilema and his administration. Honorable Minister, my question goes to what is happening in the agriculture sector in relation to the agriculture sector, in relation to the fertilizer plants that are being set up. What guarantee are you giving to the people of this country that with the setting up of these fertilizer plants that you have indicated, how is this going to benefit the agriculture sector in general, given the challenges that we have experienced in the sector over time? Thank you so much.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, if you can recall very well, in the past years, year in, year out, the delivery of farming inputs was a game of chance. Because every time we were importing fertilizer from different places. Time and again, sometimes, yes, we saw it delivered at the right time, but in many times, Madam Speaker, it was a game of chance. Why? Because we did not have control of the source and what time it was arriving. But for now, Madam Speaker, we are manufacturing and producing the fertilizer ourselves. The delivery time, Madam Speaker, is spot on. The quality, Madam Speaker, we are masters of it. And the price, Madam Speaker, we are masters of it. So the agricultural sector, Madam Speaker, is guaranteed. And beyond the right quality, right time and price of delivery, Madam Speaker, that's how you see that even the delivery period, Madam Speaker, is timely. We have gone beyond that, Madam Speaker. In the past, we used to get general fertilizer. But because we are manufacturing within our country, we are producing fertilizer based on the soil composition of a region. Madam Speaker, I should say that now we are beginning to be food secure and self-sufficient in fertilizer production if we continue to produce within ourselves. Madam Speaker, I submit.
Thank you. The first person who indicated, the honorable members, there were so many indications there over the same point of order, but from what I observed, the first person who stood for a point of order was the honorable member for Chiengi. Honorable member for Chiengi, what's the point of order?
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. I rise on a very serious point of order. Let me declare interest against my son-in-law, who is the Minister of Commerce. Madam Speaker, this is pursuant to Standing Order 71. Our minister here, the way he's coming out, is mocking the people of Chiengi. As we're speaking, there's a high shortage of fertilizer. And I want to find out, Madam Speaker, through you, Was it in order to brag how this government is exporting fertilizer at the expense of the locals who do not have fertilizer? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Yeah. All the honorable members. The honorable minister was saying Zambia is now producing a lot of sufficient fertilizer. Some of it is even being exported. If you are questioning the issue of distribution, I think that is another point. But in terms of manufacturing, we understand that there are companies that are manufacturing, and the fertilizer is even being exported to Tanzania. So if the people of Chiengi don't have fertilizer, I think it's the problem of distribution. It's a problem of distribution, honorable member for Mukushi South, who doesn't ask any questions, but is always standing on a point of order and debating while seated. Can we make progress? Questions for oral answer under Standing Order 80. The honorable member for Milanzi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Good.
You were not clear, honorable member.
I was saying thank you for the opportunity to ask a question. The good people of Milanzi are asking question 148.
Thank you. The honorable minister, acting minister of infrastructure, housing and urban development.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The honorable member of Parliament for Milanzi asked the Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development a question in 3 parts. Whether government has any plans to rehabilitate Katete, Kampamba, Chadiza Road, which is in a deplorable state. In B, if so, when the plans will be implemented. And in C, if there are no such plans, why? Madam Speaker, the response is as follows. Government has plans to rehabilitate the Katete, Kapambe, Chadiza Road in Eastern Province. In B, the plans will be implemented once the required funds have been secured by Treasury. C, as indicated in A above, the government has plans to rehabilitate the Katete, Kampambe, Chadiza Road in Eastern Province. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. Supplementary questions. The honorable member for Milanzi.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for that response. Honorable Minister, I would like to bring this to your attention that this is the second time I'm asking this question. I posed this same question in 2022, and the response from the substantive minister was that government was still sourcing for funds. The road in question is a very important road to the people of Katete, especially farmers. It links Katete and Chadiza, and as indicated in the question that it is in a deplorable state. 2 bridges have since collapsed, and 1 is on the verge of collapsing. As you wait to find monies for this road, Honorable Minister, are there any immediate interventions to ensure that the road is passable?
Thank you. The acting honorable minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Indeed, as we wait to find money from Treasury, the honorable member of Parliament may wish to know the following. The government of the Republic of Zambia has signed the concession agreement for public-private partnership with Rutembwe Consulting Company for the finance, design, build and operate and transfer 55 kilometers from Katete to Chanida and border infrastructure in Eastern Province at a cost of almost $80 million. Therefore, Madam Speaker, areas such as Kapambe, which is close to Chadiza, are expected to benefit from such
development. I thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Commencement.
I thank you once again, Madam Speaker. Acting Minister of Infrastructure, the question under discussion relates to the details that have been provided by the area Member of Parliament. My question to you, Minister, so far what work has been done in achieving the objective of having a road there? Have you done the designs for the roads? Have you costed the roads? So that we know exactly at what stage we are in implementing the project under consideration. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Acting Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development.
Madam Speaker, in answering the question in A, we had said that government has plans to rehabilitate the road. In order to have plans, obviously you must have designs. I thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Milanzi.
Honorable Minister, considering that you have said that there's a concessionaire agreement that has been signed, I'll refer you to the same question that I posed in 2022, and the response from the minister then was that the contract.
Order. As the time is 16:40 hours, I suspend business for 20 minutes for a health break.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for still being with us on Parliamentary television. Business of the House has been suspended for a 20-minute health break, and so we expect business of the House to resume at about 17 hours. And at the time business was being suspended, the House was considering questions for oral answer understanding Order 80, and this is question number 148. Which is coming from Milan's Member of Parliament, Ms. Medesiana Piri, and she has directed her question to the Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development, where she wanted to find out whether the government has any plans to rehabilitate Katete Kampande Chadiza Road, which is in a deplorable state, and if so, when the plans will be implemented, and if there are no such plans, why. And at the time business was being suspended, it was Milan's Member of Parliament posing a follow-up question to the Minister. And so when business resumes, we expect her to continue with her follow-up question.
So far the House has considered two ministerial statements, and the first ministerial statement came from the Minister of Water Development and Sanitation. And this ministerial statement was on the status of the water supply and sanitation interventions in response to the drought mitigation and cholera elimination funds, and the other one was from the Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry. This ministerial statement was on the status and the progress of Zambia's industrial development agenda, and we did see quite a number of members of Parliament posing follow-up questions seeking clarity from the two ministers. There were three announcements that were made earlier in the day, Martina.
Yes, President, Madam Speaker did make three announcements. In one of the announcements, she informed the House that she had received communication to the effect that in the absence of her Honour, the Vice President, who is attending to other government business, the Minister of Agriculture, Honourable Ruben Ara Piri Mutolo MP, has been appointed acting leader of government business in the House from today, Wednesday, 4th December 2024, until further notice.
The other announcement that the Right Honourable Madam Speaker made was to recognize the presence in the Speaker's gallery of the following officials from the National Biosafety Authority, Mr. Webson D. Shabusale, Acting Board Chairperson, Dr. Chapwa Kasoma, Vice Chairperson, Scientific Advisory Committee, Mrs. Lillian K. Nkamu, Acting CEO Registrar.
There was also Mr. Christopher Simutala, Senior Biosafety Officer, and Ms. Sandra Lombe, who is the Communication Officer. And so, Madam Speaker did say that the officials came for a sensitization meeting with presiding officers and other stakeholders on biosafety in Zambia. And so, Madam Speaker, on behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, received the guests and warmly welcomed them to the National Assembly.
The Right Honourable Madam Speaker did also recognize the presence in the public gallery of pupils and teachers from Arakan Girls Secondary School in the Saka district. On behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, the Right Honorable Madam Speaker, we warmly welcome the pupils and teachers from Arakan Girls Secondary School right here in the Saka district. And those are some of the businesses that have been considered on the floor of the House. So Matimba, I'm sure, and I will be able to let you in on what is expected to be considered on the floor of the House just before we cross over to the chamber for resumption of business just before 17 hours. Remember, the House has taken that health break for 20 minutes. Keep watching Parliament Television. Those of you that are following us on our social platforms, could be YouTube and Facebook, saying welcome aboard and spread the news. We'll be joined on the other side. Keep watching Parliament Television.
The National Assembly of Zambia, in conjunction with the Southern African Development Community Parliamentary Forum SADC PF, will host the 56th Plenary Assembly session from the 8th to 15th December 2024 at the Radisson Blu Mosotunya Resort in Livingstone under the theme Leveraging Technology and Innovation for Smart, Inclusive and Responsive Parliaments in the SADC region. SADC PF is a regional interparliamentary body comprising 15 national parliaments of SADC member states, namely Angola, Botswana, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Eswatini, Lesotho, Madagascar, Malawi, Mauritius, Mozambique, Namibia, the Seychelles, South Africa, Tanzania, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. Remember, it's from the 8th to 15th December 2024 at the Radisson Blu Mosotunya Resort in Livingstone, the tourist capital.
Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Journey to Breaking the Silence, where we get to share stories of individuals living with HIV/AIDS in collaboration with the National HIV/AIDS STIs TB Council Zambia. Today we share the story of Miss Regina Katungu Chileshe. Miss Chileshe recounts her journey when she was first told of her HIV status.
At first, when I was diagnosed as I was tested HIV positive, it wasn't easy. Yes, it wasn't easy. I had a lot of questions to ask myself to say, how am I going to overcome this disease since I'm the firstborn, and how am I going to manage it? So the courage which I had was, I had a friend who was working at the clinic. The way she used to see me sitting without talking, getting worried, that's how she invited me to go to the clinic. From that time, she cancelled me. I couldn't accept the very day. So it took about 2 weeks. Again, she invited me to the clinic. So there was this counselor, he was a Bemba. She asked me the name. I told him. When she said, Bachilesh, so it's not the end of it, it's the second word. So you are going to know yourself and you are going to live much better. So the more you are giving with stigma, the worse now the people will be able to know that you are sick. That's how he encouraged me, and that's how I got tested. The challenges first which I went on was who to tell as the next of kin, because when you're on medication you need to tell somebody, maybe your sister. If you have a mother, you should tell one of the relatives. So it became a challenge to organize which one now am I going to tell. So luckily enough, I had this second born who used to see my life going on and off. She's the one who said, "Mom, I'll be there for you. Tell me when you went to the clinic, what was it?" And then I was free, because she also counseled me. She said, "Daddy died, so we don't want to lose you as well." So she said, "I'll be there for you, Mom. Whatever situation, if it's collecting the drugs, I will be going there when you are not feeling well. So that's how I told her, and she came on with me. That's how she used to counsel me, talk to me. That's how I got myself happy, and I stayed with this girl almost 5 years without telling anyone of the family. That's how I got on. When now I got used, then I had to tell also my last born. I said, I'm HIV positive. I was tested when your daddy died. And she said, wow, Mom, we are happy for you since we didn't want to lose you. That's where I am. At least now I'm comfortable. Even in the community,